Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you remember yesterday's video, we discussed the differences between the Bratz Angelz PS2 fashion lines and the dolls that they were inspired by. And today we are going to be ranking those lines. So our tiers for this video, we have the S tier, we're the girls with a passion for fashion. We have our A tier, give it some gratitude. We have our B tier, turn up the heat. We have our C tier, let them go barefoot. We have our D tier, like whatever. And we have our F tier, mother of pink. I have some criteria for how I'm going to be ranking these. So the first criteria is going to be faithfulness to the dolls. Do they follow the same design? Do they do whatever they want? Are the colors similar? Are the styles similar? Just faithfulness to the dolls. The second criterion that I'm ranking them on is game execution. How does it look in game? Does it look even remotely similar to what the doll wears? Or did they take some creative liberties? Or can you tell that they were limited by the PS2, but that is what they're supposed to be, is this doll? So without further ado, let's start. Okay, so treasures. Treasures, like I said yesterday, is pretty similar to the dolls, except for the fact that they are missing two of the dolls that they are supposed to be, I guess, emulating. So they have 4 outfits, but one of the outfits is actually based on a Yasmin artwork instead of like the Jade doll or the Sasha doll that we have. So because of that, faithfulness to the dolls, treasures gets an automatic C. So I'm going to put them there just for visual reference. Now for game execution, with what they had to work with, they did a pretty good job. You can obviously tell that the tears on like the pink top that Yasmin wears or the blue top that Chloe wears, those are supposed to be like tears, even though on the black and pink top it looks like a lightning bolt, and then Chloe's it looks like 2 small little slashes. Or I guess they're 3, but still. And then Chloe's black part on her doll is supposed to be outside, and on the game it's inside, which matches more towards the artwork, like I said in yesterday's video. So, and then other than the belts and like small details like the stripes on Chloe's skirt, and then like the denim details on Yasmin's skirt, and then Roxy's outfit, they did a really good job on. But overall, game execution for treasures is also a C. So overall, the overall score for treasures is going to be C, let them go barefoot. Our next line that we're going to be talking about is party, or birthday bash as they're known in the doll world, but party in Bratz Angelz. So there's only 2 of the 4 dolls that are actually even like created in the game. So automatically it's 50% of the dolls whenever it's like faithfulness to the dolls. Chloe's is pretty similar. You can tell that that's what it's supposed to be. There's some like color discrepancies and then like texture differences in her top. And then Yasmin's, you can still tell that that's what it's supposed to be, but there are a lot of color discrepancies just all around in this outfit. So faithfulness to the dolls. So in faithfulness to the dolls, party is going to get a C tier, below treasures, let them go barefoot. Now campfire is a pretty tricky one because there are only 2 dolls that they actually modeled fashions for, Roxy's and Dana's. So automatically it also gets a D tier for faithfulness to the dolls. However, the execution of these items are actually really cute. They did a good job in the game. They're not super close to the doll ones, obviously, because there's not a lot of doll fashions that they did, just the 2 dresses. But in regards to the artwork, it's pretty spot on. So the game execution gives it a B, turn up the heat, but that would make the overall score a C, putting it above party. Now for strut it, going back through it like we did yesterday, you can definitely tell that those outfits are what they're supposed to be. They did all 5 dolls, so that is a leg up automatically for faithfulness to the dolls because they actually, included all of the dolls. There were some like small differences, mostly between like color discrepancies and then Chloe's top. But overall, Strut It gets an A, give it some gratitude, for faithfulness to the dolls. In the game execution, I mean, it's not one of my favorite lines personally, but they look really good. Like the PS2 games, it literally is like a copy and paste of the doll lines. So therefore, Strut It can stay in A, give it some attitude. Sporty Flair cannot have the criteria of faithfulness to the dolls, so instead we're going to do faithfulness to the artwork, which there are some differences, mostly color differences. They're not like super big, just like the reds and the pinks are either super pastel or they're super vibrant, but overall, it's definitely the same pieces. And you can tell that that's what they're supposed to be. So Sporty Flare, for faithfulness to the artwork, gets a B. Turn up the heat. Now, in game, they're really cute and I like them. And they look good. Like the zip up hoodies, you can definitely tell that they're layered. The tiers on the skirts are cute. All the details are not like painted on like they are in The Sims 4. They're like actual details. So, which means the game execution of Sporty Flare is an A, but that keeps it at a high B. Turn up the heat. Now, Pretty and Punk is so good. There's multiple dolls and multiple outfits from the dolls that they took from, which there are only 4 dolls originally because we didn't have a Sasha doll first off, but they used Chloe's first and second outfits, Jade's second outfit, Megan's first outfit and part of her second outfit, and then Yasmin's second outfit. Yes, there are some differences, like in Yasmin's skirt, and then there's a top that Megan wears in her artwork that they included instead, but overall faithfulness to the dolls, like Yasmin's top in the game matches more with her doll's top than it does with her top in the movie. So the faithfulness to the dolls is an S tier. We're the girls with a passion for fashion. Game execution, you can't really tell that that's supposed to be a zipper on Chloe's top, but that's okay. The jacket, Jade's jacket, is really well made. I like the cutouts, even though it looks suede instead of leather, but that's okay. The fishnets on Megan's, I mean, it's a PS2 and it's PS2 graphics, and they did a really good job making it look like it was mesh. Same with Yasmin's top. So Pretty Punk can actually stay at S tier. We're the girls with the passion for fashion. Rock Angelz is a little all over the place. It's 3 complete outfit, like doll outfits, and then 1 top and 1 bottom from 2 dolls, because you're missing Yasmin's pants and you're missing Chloe's top. But you have Roxy's top and bottom, which I was not expecting to find out. And I figured that they would have, considering the game was based on the movie, added in full outfits for the core 4 girls and not for Roxy. So faithfulness to the dolls, because of missing a main outfit bottom and top, is gonna be a B. Turn up some heat. But the game execution, I think they did a really good job with the textures, like Chloe's stitch detailing on her pants, and then the mesh on Jade's top and the distress, and they even had the keychain on the jeans, and then they paid attention to like the side detailings on like Roxy and Sasha's pants, and then they tried to do a rose on Yasmin's top. I don't really know what went on there, but the execution in the game with these is an A, giving this a high B. Turn up the heat. Now we're gonna move on to Dynamite. The automatic first thing that pops in my head about this is the outfits in the game are completely black, which I guess makes sense for the sneaking mission, but the dolls are supposed to be black, green, and purple. Now they did have all 3 of the girls' outfits in there, plus an additional one, so I guess kudos to them for that. But the boots on all 3 of them don't match the doll boots, they match the artwork boots. But you can kind of tell whenever you look at it that that's what it's supposed to be, especially whenever they have like the detailing on Chloe's top, and then the cropped of Megan's top, and then also the gloves and the shorts from Nevra's. So, but because of the boots and the colors, the faithfulness to the dolls for Dynamite is actually going to land them in D tier, like whatever. But like I was saying, the game execution, they're pretty well done. I like the details. The zippers look really nice. They have like the gloves, and they even have like small details on the gloves. And then they definitely did pay attention to the small things. So the game execution honestly would put it at a B tier, which would mean that it gets a C tier. Let them go barefoot. Okay, ooh la la. This one is gonna pain me because there are so many color discrepancies. It's not even funny, which makes the faithfulness to the dolls pretty low. You can tell that that's what they were going for because like the shapes are the same, especially with like Chloe's top and her skirt, and then her dress with the big bow, and then Dana's top and skirt. You can't really tell with her dress though, unfortunately. And then Kumi's dress you definitely can, and her skirt. It's a little harder to tell with her top. So faithfulness to the dolls, unfortunately for Ooh La La, is gonna put it at a C. Let them go barefoot. But honestly, I love this line in the game. I do not care that the colors are different because I like the colors in the game better than I do on the actual dolls, which I know that they're based on the artwork, but I think the artwork colors are prettier, and I think it makes more sense for them to be more pastel and I guess like coquette than in the doll. I think the doll's colors are a little bit too harsh, which means the game execution for Ooh La La is honestly S tier. And that puts it at a low A. Give it some gratitude. Now, Midnight Dance, there's only 3 dolls to work with. So they have all 3 full outfits, plus they gave us 2 dresses, so that's pretty good. Now, the games actually have details that the dolls are missing, but all the details that the dolls have, the game also executes very well. So faithfulness to the dolls puts Midnight Dance automatically at S tier. And then PS2 execution, like the game execution, like I was saying with like the details, they did a really good job with the belt and then the patch on Yasmin's bottoms. And then specifically the detailing with the ruffles and the bow on Megan's looks really, really nice. And then even Fiona's skirt, you can definitely tell that it's supposed to be a layered skirt. And then like the stitch detailing on the underbust of her shirt. And then even the dresses that we didn't have like dolls for, the details on there with like the bows are really good. So game execution for this, honestly, is kind of an S tier. So that puts Midnight Dance at S tier. So right now, this is our final ranking of the Bratz Rock Angelz fashion lines. So in S tier, we're the girls with the passion for fashion, we have Pretty and Punk and Midnight Dance, surprisingly. Give It Some Gratitude, we have Shred It and Ooh La La. Turn Up the Heat, we have Rock Angelz and Sporty Flair. Let 'Em Go Barefoot, we have Treasures, Campfire, Party, and Dynamite. Okay, so as you can see, we have a bracket. There are 10 fashion lines in Bratz Rock Angelz, so this is the most fair way that you can have a bracket for 10 teams, like in sports. And so I actually had help creating this with my boyfriend, so thank you to him for helping me figure out this bracket mess. Well, if you can see down here, they are already ranked based on our tier list. So because of the rankings, we have at number 1 is Pretty and Punk, number 2 is Midnight Dance, number 3 is Shred It, number 4 is Ooh La La, number 5 is Rock Angelz, number 6 is Sporty Flair, number 7 is Treasures, number 8 is Campfire, number 9 is Party, and number 10 is Dynamite. And you can see that they have the numbers over here because you have like the first place to the last and then so on until you get into the middle with 5 and 6. So for this bracket ranking, this is not my personal ranking of these. Honestly, I would put Ooh La La at number 2. However, to make it fair, I ranked them first, and now this is going to be my subjective opinions of it. So I'm going to, between these pairings, pick the best one. And then we're going to find out which is the best line in the whole game. So between Pretty and Punk and Dynamite, I think Pretty and Punk is the better. Between Midnight Dance and Party, I do think Midnight Dance is the best. Between Shred It and Campfire, this one was hard, but I think Campfire is the best. And then number 4 plays Pretty and Punk. This one was really, 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 really hard because of how much I like Ooh La La, but I think I like Pretty and Punk better. And then number 5 and number 6, between Rock Angelz and Sporty Flair, that was a no-brainer. It's Rock Angelz. And then Team 7 plays Midnight Dance. So Treasures versus Midnight Dance. I am going to have to say Midnight Dance. I don't think it's as wearable as Treasures, but I think in the game it's a better line. And because these two are not 2 of my favorite ones. So that leaves the final 4. Between Campfire and Pretty Punk, it's obvious going to be Pretty and Punk every time. And then between Midnight Dance and Rock Angelz, even though Midnight Dance is, better on paper, Rock Angelz takes the cake. So now we just got to see who is the better fashion line out of Pretty and Punk and Rock Angelz. And the answer may not surprise you, or it may surprise you, I don't know, because it's Pretty and Punk. So that is actually going to be all for today's video. We found out that Pretty and Punk is the best fashion line in Bratz Rock Angelz. If you would like to see me breaking down the differences between the dolls and the fashion lines for Bratz Rock Angelz, then stick around till the end of the video. It's going to be recommended to you. And if you would like to see me do this for the other games, then stick around because I am planning to do that as well. And I'm also planning on figuring out which Bratz game has the best fashions overall. So make sure you stick around for that as well. Anyways, I'm going to leave that here and I'm going to tell you thank you so much for watching and I will see you all next time. Bye guys.